had this moment a few weeks ago where I walked past my mirror and I abruptly stopped. I wish that I could tell you that I saw like my grandmother or some elegant silver-haired version of myself, but no, it was my grandfather. Definitely not the right ancestor that you want showing up. I went straight past every woman in my family and landed on a man who probably never moisturized once in his life and had to have a jar of pickled pig's feet in the fridge at all times. It's funny. I just sat there turning my head, from left to right, thinking to myself, God, maybe I'm having a stroke or something. And I remember thinking, wow, this is interesting. And then I texted my brother and I told him that I look like grandpa. And he laughed and then I laughed. Well, until I didn't. Hi, I'm Sheila. I am not a motivational speaker or a guru. I am just your 55-year-old internet auntie who did everything right and still ended up sideways. Right now, I'm lightly cracked, but I'm still operational. Now, with the grandpa sighting and the fact that my YouTube channel was hijacked a few weeks ago and everything that I felt around these events, I made two decisions. One of them is small, practical, something that I can actually control. The other one is not small at all, and I said that I would never do it again, but I'm doing it anyway. There's a part of that second decision that I didn't see coming, and it has nothing to do with why I made it, and I'll share that with you later. So let's start with the small decision because this is the one that looks harmless, but I was so worried about doing it. If you've been here for a while, you can probably already tell what it is. Now, I've talked a lot about aging on this channel, and I think that you should age however the hell you want to. Do you want Botox? Get it. Do you want plastic surgery? I'm all for it. You do you. I feel very strongly about that. But I've been going through a bit of my own situation over here, and at some point I had to admit to myself that I was managing around something that was getting worse, and I was pretending that it counted as acceptance. So if you've been watching my videos, you can tell that I've been wearing a hat in almost every single one for the last few months. That wasn't a style choice, that was a workaround. The thumbnails where it looks like I have this beautiful head full of white hair, those are AI. They are not real life. The hair loss that I've experienced with menopause has gotten worse, and not in a vague, maybe it's thinning kind of way, but in a very clear, very visible way to the point where I don't like how I look, and I really don't like how I feel. And I kept telling myself I was fine with it, that I was aging naturally, that I wasn't going to be one of those people fighting every little change like it's a personal attack, while at the exact same time I was structuring my life around a hat. I had some things that I was doing for filming days to make my hair look like it was there, but those little tricks aren't working anymore. So I finally said enough of this, and I went to a quiet little boutique with a chair and a mirror and a little bit of honesty. I sat there trying on different versions of myself, and one of them was long hair, this beautiful long wig, like super long, like the kind of hair that I've never had in my life. And I couldn't stop laughing because it was like, who is this woman and why does she look like she has secrets? Then there was this short one that made me look like I was about to ask for a manager. Another one looked like a football helmet and Kate Gosselin's hair had a baby. And I just sat there thinking, nah, absolutely not. My husband said that one of them made me look like Jennifer Aniston. It did not. Not even in a witness protection kind of way. And then I found this one. Her name is Amelia. I picked her because she looks the most like my hair used to look before everything started shifting, with my old blonde and my new gray mixed together, like it's at least trying to meet me where I actually am instead of dragging me backward or pushing me into something that doesn't feel like me. And the strangest part of it all is that I really wasn't emotional about it, which surprised me because I thought there would be a moment, right? But it felt more like fixing something that had been bothering me for a really long time. I already know that some of you are going to have some thoughts about this, and that's fair. I get it. I've been very comfortable with my white hair, just not the baldness. And there aren't exactly a whole lot of wig options in that space. I also know people don't love change, so yeah, I did worry about losing some of you, but this is what I need right now. So, what does it say about me that getting a wig and sharing it with thousands of people online was the easy decision? Let's talk about the other decision because this one is not small, and it's the one that I said that I would never do again. I have decided that I'm going to start looking for a job in corporate again. After spending 30 years in corporate and being laid off 2 years ago, I didn't exactly arrive at this decision with enthusiasm. I've been out of it long enough to remember exactly how it went for me. I didn't choose to leave in the first place. I was laid off. And then I spent the last 2 years looking for a new job and doing a lot of healing. I didn't have some big realization about purpose or what I want to do next. When my channel got hijacked and what little income I had disappeared with it, That scared me in a way that I wasn't prepared for. Corporate might not be steady, but it pays more than YouTube does right now. And if I'm being honest, I've been in my own little bubble for a really long time now. And there's a part of me that thinks it might actually be good to talk to people that aren't just my husband and this camera. And I already know what some of you are going to say because I've said very clearly that I was done with corporate. I meant it when I said it. And now here I am. What I'm not going to do is go back to who I was inside of it. There's no Kool-Aid drinking happening here. There's no loyalty speech. There's no we're a family moment where I suddenly forget everything I've lived through. And I'm not going back to build an identity around it or to prove anything to anyone. I am going back for money. That is it. It is all about the paycheck. And that's a very different version of me walking into that situation than the one who built her entire sense of worth around being good at it. Because I've already done that version, and that version cost me more than I understood at the time. So now I'm looking at this like a transaction. I will do the work and I will do it well, but I'm not giving it anything extra that it has not earned. And the second that I feel myself starting to slip back into that old pattern where everything revolves around it and my mental health starts taking a hit, I'm out. I'm in a jet. No speeches, no pushing through, and no proving anything. I'm just done. And if I'm being honest, this is probably going to be a bit of an experiment because in the last 2 years, I've had maybe 5 interviews total, and I haven't actively looked for anything in probably over 6 months. So I may not even get any offers, right? We'll see if I get interviews though. I'm thinking that Amelia might pull through. I'll keep you posted because I'm just as curious as you are at this point. So why am I telling you all this before I even know how it turns out? Well, I'm sharing this in the middle of it because this is where my life is right now. This is what we do here. We share it as it's happening. We pivot, we change, we figure it out in real time instead of pretending that we had a plan. And I know people are going to feel some kind of way about this too. I get that. So I'd rather just put everything out in the open instead of having people guessing what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. Let's talk about it. Ask me your questions in the comments. Share your concerns. I'll be sharing what this actually looks like as I go because apparently I am now a 55-year-old woman trying to get back in the game, and that feels like something that we should probably document. I didn't walk away from corporate in some strong, empowered way. I got laid off, and then I spent the last 2 years trying to get my head back on straight, and I just came out of a behavioral health treatment program, so I'm not standing here like I've got this all figured out. I'm standing here knowing exactly how far things can go if I stop paying attention, and that's really the difference this time. So I'm making decisions in the middle of all that, not after it's resolved and not when everything finally feels stable, but right here where it's still all messy. I don't have a clean ending for this. I don't have a lesson wrapped up in a bow or some big takeaway that makes this all feel neat and intentional. I'm just making the next decision in front of me with the information that I have right now, and I'm trying not to disappear inside of it again. So we'll see if I get interviews. Who knows? We'll see what this actually looks like once I'm in it. We'll see how long it makes sense to stay. And I'm going to tell you the truth about all of this while it's happening, not after I've had time to clean it up and make it sound smarter than it actually feels, because that's the part that matters to me. Not getting it perfect, just not losing myself in it again.